Hello, my name's Tragic O'Hara, and I've been a professional walrus chaser for one year. Right, so remember that video I made about Jump On? I'm going to take you on a little trip down memory lane. So see at the end of that, December 31st right now, that's the date right now. Tomorrow's 2021. At the end of 2021, I'm going to put a video out of the goals that I've set, and I might have achieved them and I might not have, but I can't fake it because I'm wearing the same clothes, exact same setup, everything's still here, and I can prove it. The best laid plans of mice and men, I think that's what Burns said. Something happened when the jellyfish thing happened. Now see, when it happened, I should have been more frantic than it was, right? And if the jellyfish thing hadn't happened at the same time as this, it would have probably annoyed me more. I am a one-man band. Like, there's no one else here. Like, it's just me, right? I don't have a team of assistants, right? I couldn't afford a team of assistants. I can hardly afford to assist myself, right? Usually what I do, I have just too many SD cards, man, and like they're all just full of footage and they all just kind of lie here. I bought this thing to keep them in, but I don't keep it. I don't even put them in that. I'm terrible, right? But like what's happened is I had a hard drive where I was keeping all my stuff, right? Now, the hard drive broke. So I lost all my footage. Everything. Absolutely every single bit of it. So the 3 goals that I set at the end of last year, I was going to release a video on December 31st. But I lost all the footage. Lost the whole thing. Because I'm an idiot, basically, right? And like, I'm only one person. Like, I know I should be backing up this stuff. Like, I know I should be, right? And every time I put something on it, I'm like, right, I better do that. But at the time I'm doing that, I'm away in there doing something else. And I get distracted easily, right? I don't have much in the way of focus. Believe it or not, right? Like, I had everything on a hard drive and it was in the back of my head going, can't do that, that's stupid, you can't do that. And then I was making another video, right, which eventually I finished because I lost that too. I was just about to release a video about why I stopped playing music. I'm kind of glad I lost it because, as I've said before, this is like therapy, right? I'll just put a camera on and just start ranting about stuff, right? Every so often I'd be ranting about something and then I'd go back into this music rabbit hole and just start moaning. And basically that video was just me moaning. Like, that's what it was. It was just me moaning about the fact that it never happened for me. That's what it is. And it pains me to say that, right? It never happened for me. And I thought I was good enough for it to happen. And I still harbour a grudge. 15 years I've been doing this Tragic O'Hara thing. Just the Tragic O'Hara thing. I've been in countless bands before that. Hello, my name's Tragic O'Hara. There's a video I made when I was still in the garage over a year ago now about my first band and the first band I was ever in. Making my first demo. So if you want to know about my first band, Empathy, go and watch that. After that I was in a band called Dirge. With my friend John and my friend Chris. So I was in a band called El Jugador. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I ended up in a band called Strange Empire. I sang a couple of songs in my friend's crash club. But like the Tragic O'Hara thing, like I've been doing that the longest. Freedom
of the night, I bury my head to open my eyes. I'm too tired to eat, I'm too hungry to sleep. You won't find no friends at the bottom of a bottle again. At the bottom of a bottle again. Some folks think I'm crazy, but I think I'm doing well. Not doing everything I want, 'cause there's no such thing as hell.
So, Tragic is a lovely, lovely name. Does tragedy tend to haunt you, or are you a massive Bee Gees fan?
I'm haunted by the Bee Gees.
If I was a gambling man.
You broke into a mental asylum, you were telling me earlier.
Yes, I broke in.
What were you doing in there?
Just having a walk.
Did you say walk?
A walk? Yeah, a walk. I play dark stuff, but I'm not dark enough to break into an asylum to do that. Nobody knows! To condense the whole thing down, that whole 30-minute rant that no one will ever get to see, right? If I condense it all down into one solid statement, it's this. Music's the only thing that I ever felt I was good at, and I failed. That's it. And I've felt that anger for a long time. And I put it on to what other people were doing, right? So other people would be doing stuff in music and I'd get jealous and I'd get angry and I would feel like, why are they getting that? They're not as good as me. Like all that sort of stuff. All that resentment is still there. Now I love writing songs and playing music. Like it was the thing I always done. Like it's just, as soon as I heard Nirvana, that was it. Like I nothing else interested me apart from playing this guitar and making music. All the other stuff kind of came with it. Like I loved making posters. I was in bands with people who hated making posters. I loved it. I was in bands with people who didn't really want to work a camera, and I loved working the camera. Like that was it. I loved the whole thing. And that's why I can do all the stuff that I do now, is because when it came to who's making a poster, me. Like, who's going to come up with the idea for a music video? Me. Who's going to do the artwork for the album? Me. Like, I was not... It wasn't a chore. Like, there was never a time when I was like, I can't be bothered doing this. It was just as much fun as the making music thing. What wasn't fun, right, was gigging. I hated gigging by the end up. I absolutely loathed it. I hated everything about it. And I was doing it 4 days a week. 5 days a week. Like, I can't hear anymore. Like, my ears ring constantly. I woke up on a couch in Glasgow, right, in a flat. I don't even know whose flat it was. And I woke up with a constant ringing in my ears, and it has not left me since. I've had it for 10 years. 10 years I've been living with tinnitus because I was gigging all the time, like constantly just out there gigging anything, right? Playing in the middle of nowhere for £20, like, and even sometimes playing in the middle of nowhere and getting promised money and then not getting paid. I hated it, man. I hated the gigging thing. I was convinced that I was going to make it because of these songs I was writing. Seriously, I was convinced, and I was wrong, completely wrong, because nothing translated well. Like, this is the bit, right? This is the... man, geez, this is what I mean about the rant thing, right? Like, this is... Back then, I wrote what I would deem serious songs, like stuff. This is going to make me sound like an absolute... Right, but... right, so what I would do is, like, there was points in my life, right, where I was hurt. That was, like that was it. And any time I was hurt, I wrote. That's where it went, was into the songs, right? And the rest of my life, I never really took that serious. Like, I would do stuff like this. Like, I was quite happy acting like a clown and a buffoon and stuff. But see the actual sitting down writing a song, that was the stuff that was going on that I was hurt by was going into that, right? And then see, the older I got, the less hurt I was. Like, I was over it. Like, I was over some of the stuff. And it just kind of got to the point when I was like, look, I'm just going to let this name, this Tragic O'Hara thing, just become everything. Eventually. And then when I gave up the last time, right? Because when I gave up, I gave up. The last gig I ever played was in stereo. Glasgow, and I'd written and recorded an album. Like, I recorded 3 albums in my bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, that last album that I done 1 gig, and I sold everything. After that gig, I don't even have a photograph from that gig. I don't even think any footage exists of that gig. I got up, played my new album, basically, got off stage and sold everything the next day. That was like the final quit. Like the second, when I became a dad, I'd quit everything. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I cannot go out and be playing in the middle of nowhere and driving home and coming back at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I refuse to, like, this is the thing, right? Not how when I'm saying, like, rule 0.5, don't be a dick. The reason I need that rule is because I'm a dick. That's why I need that rule, because I am a dick. I know I'm a dick, right? There's just a bit in me that's horrible. Right, and I know it's there all the time, right? So, for example, here's a story. I was playing in East Kilbride, and it was a covers gig, and I can count on one hand probably how many covers gigs I'd done, because I hated them. I hated them so much, and I hated them more than I loved the money. So I just didn't really do them. But at this particular time, I was flat brassic broke. Like, I had nothing. Like, I was in brass tacks, right? I was working a 0-hour contract, trying to get a house, like, trying to do all this. I had nothing, right? It was just trying to make as much money as I could to try and get a mortgage. Trying to make as much money as I could so that I could be in debt for the rest of my life. Know what I mean? So the only way I could make a covers gig palatable for me was to play the songs that I liked. I cannot bring myself to do Ed Sheeran songs. I can't do it. There's a bit in me that's like, no one will enjoy this because I'm gonna hate it, right? And everyone will know that I hate it just by the look in my stupid face, right? So I would do Bob Marley, The Clash, and then I'd do like Cypress Hill covers, and I'd do all that sort of stuff, all the stuff that I was into, but I thought, oh, well, do you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't like Bob Marley? Do you know what I mean? And if you don't know The Clash, you probably know London Calling. Like, I was trying my best, right? But there's still this bit in me. And this girl came up steaming, right? And I'm playing, and she comes up and she's like, do you know any Ed Sheeran? And I was like, no, I don't. Do you know any whatever? What was The Killers or something? I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, well, what do you know? And I was like, well, I know hundreds of stuff. I don't know any of these songs. I was like, look, I'm going to be honest with you, right? And I remember saying this. Let me be honest. See if you don't know who The Clash, Bob Marley, and Cypress Hill are, right? If you don't know who those 3 people are, right, and I managed to do all those songs on an acoustic guitar, a Cypress Hill cover on an acoustic guitar, that sounds like a you problem and not a me problem. And I was never invited back. That's what I mean about being a dick. Like, I shouldn't have been there doing that, but I was putting myself in these positions. It wasn't her fault. It's not her fault she's not into that sort of stuff. There's plenty of stuff I'm not into, right? Like, that doesn't make me better than her. It just makes me into a thing that she's not into. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Like, not into Love Island. Never will be, right? It's not me, right? I can't watch that and get happiness. It'll just make me angry. But sometimes I like to be angry. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's what music became for me. That's what music became for me, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's making me miserable, so I'm not doing it anymore. And then I got a real job eventually, and that leads us to this part of the story. So my hard drive broke, and I lost everything. Right, some really important stuff, some stuff that I really needed. Because there's been stuff I've been working on, like, since this Walrus thing started, like, and I really needed it, right? And I lost it all. Lost the whole thing. I was that focused on the jellyfish thing that when it stopped working, I was kind of like, oh well, that's another thing. Like, and I just totally forgot about it. I phoned a place in London, I think it was, no win, no fee thing. So, like, if they couldn't fix your hard drive, it wasn't going to cost you anything. So the guy on the phone, when I was talking to him, was like, is there anything important on this thing? There's a folder on that called Chasing the Walrus. See if I can just get that back. That's fine. I've made peace with the rest of it. But that's the most important thing on there. And I was not frantic, but I was like stressing the point that that's the most important thing. If you can get that, I'll pay anything. And the guy said it's £800. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how much that footage meant to me, right? It meant so much that I was willing to pay £800 for it, but it meant so much that I wasn't willing to back it up. Idiot, right? I know, right? I know. I've got a system now. Don't need to worry about that. I got a system. When I film one of these, I copy it to two of these, and I put it in one of these. That's how many I've got. So, 2 weeks went by. 2 weeks went by, and I still hadn't heard anything. Still hadn't heard anything about this hard drive. So I finally got a phone call at the top of the diesel boom. So I was putting these jellyfish up, and I was like this. And it's the guy from the hard drive place. Now, he obviously wasn't phoning to give me good news, and he probably was expecting me to be dissatisfied at the fact that they couldn't find this thing, right? But at this point in my life, I was so happy that these jellyfish things were going up, right? That you could have told me anything, and I'd be like, cool, man. But I was on top of the diesel boom with my phone putting a jellyfish on a pole, right? And he's like, hello, Mr. O'Hara, I'm very sorry to let you know that we can't do anything with your hard drive and you've lost all your footage. And I was like, cool, man, cheers for trying. All the best, mate, thank you very much, goodbye. Like, total, so he was shocked. Like, that, the guy on the other end of the phone wasn't expecting that sort of reaction, but that's what he got, right? So I lost all that stuff. I lost the whole thing. The other thing I lost was these 3 goals. And you probably aren't going to believe me, but I'd set 3 goals. Okay, and I've got no way of proving this now because I've lost all that, so you just need to believe me. And I never achieved one of them. I never achieved one of them goals. I didn't, because the job description thing happened. The job description thing happened at the end of January, and I totally forgot about them. I was like, it's me. I'm not even bothering with that. But I was going to make the video, but I can't now. So the first one was to paint my Lucy in the Sky with diamonds thing. Never happened. Never happened, right? Like, the second thing, right, was an album. I am working on an album. I hoped that it would be finished this year, but it's not. It's not. But I have been working on it. Like, it will happen eventually. Like, that'll be album number 4. I don't think you're going to believe me what the third one was, right? The third one you won't believe, but I swear this is true. Now, there's a song that I wrote, and in my head I could hear like a What You Want, Big Fat Beastie Boys loop. So I decided that my third goal for last year would be to learn how to breakdance. That was what my goal was to learn how to breakdance, because I thought it'd be really funny if I spent that time learning how to breakdance and then make no illusion that I was going to do something like that in the music video, and then actually start breakdancing at the very end and not mention a word about it, because only the people that would watch the video to the end would know that I'd done this breakdancing thing. Whereas if you just went on and watched the first 10 seconds and were like, oh, I'm not into this, you would miss the kind of joke. Like, you had to persevere with the whole song to see me try and breakdance, but I wouldn't tell you that. You would just have seen it. And that was my idea, and it never happened. Obviously it never happened. Like, honestly, I don't think I attempted it. What I learned, I spent ages trying to learn that thing that you do with your feet, with like heel toe, like your heels up and your toes down, and you do like this kind of thing like that. And then I just stopped. Oh, Jesus Christ. So then I just stopped doing it. So that's what the goals were. Holy, do you know what I mean? Like, no wonder, man. I don't even know how I can prove it. That's the thing that's really annoying me about this. Like, I can't prove it. And it all goes in the book. It'll be in the book. It's not in the book. It all goes in the book. Then this Walrus thing happened, and everything else just got the sound turned down. It was like that. Nope, bin it all. Like, it's been a year of doing this, and like, loads has happened. For a made up thing, right? For a thing that didn't exist until February last year, it has been, out of all the stuff I've done, that's it. Like, of all the things I've tried this, I don't know how many ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, I tried it. I tried the music thing. I tried, like, I don't know. I don't even know what I was doing. That's the thing. Like, I just knew I was making stuff. I didn't. Eventually, music was the one place where I felt like I fitted in. Like, that was it. And then the more I played it, the more I realised that I didn't really fit in. I didn't really fit in anywhere in music. Like, I was too loud playing an acoustic guitar for all the folkies, and I wasn't a rock and roll band. But that, I just kind of didn't fit in. And during that course of 15 years, there was probably maybe 3 or 4 times in that where I thought, you've cracked it. That's you. You've figured this thing out. It's all going to work. From here on in, easy street. And that never happened, not once. And for some reason, I don't quite understand why, right? But for some reason, this walrus chaser thing, this professional walrus chaser thing, is the thing that I totally made up. And as soon as I wrote it down, I was like, this is going to make no sense to anyone apart from me. And it's the thing that's really starting to take off. Like it is, it's the thing that's really starting to take off, and it boggles my mind. I don't understand it. I don't understand how it's working. I'm happy it's working, but I don't understand why it's working. Like, I don't get it. But the funny thing is, it's all of this stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's everything. Like, man, what have I done? I don't know how many videos I've made. I don't know how many walls I've painted. I don't know how many songs I've wrote. Like, I've been writing songs again. Like, I haven't done that for years, right? I've filled 3 books. So much so, I've started to number them, right? This one was the 29th of January 2021. So that was the day after I'd written that job description, which is why it's not in the book, because I came up with that idea in the December before it. The book, I'm 74,000 words into the book, 87,000 now. I'm on my 4th draft of the book. Right, see that thing there? That is the 4th and final plan for this book. The first plan's behind that shelf. The second plan is in the bin. That there is the 3rd plan. And that one there is the actual finished. That's what it's going to be, right? And all I need to do now is take all the stuff that's in there, combine it with all these stupid drawings that I've done, and put it in there, and hit Control P, and then I've got a book. The sculpture which nearly killed me, that thing. The micro-rants book, I'm still doing that. Like, I'm still working on that at the same time as doing this other stuff. And, like, I started the documentary. Like, I have started the Act 1, Chasing the Walrus documentary. That's started. Actually moving forward now. Building my robot. There you go. Building a robot. Building a robot. I'm not even going to tell you any more about that. Building a robot. Like, I made my first t-shirts. Like, that was it. I sold that, the MF Doom thing, that Tragic Tombola thing I done for about 3 months, and I stopped doing that. Like, now I'm onto this mystery box thing. I haven't even got the first mystery box out for the book. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's all this other stuff that's going in the back, which is why when I lost the hard drive, it was like, I can't. Ollie, it's gone. Like, it's not there anymore. Like, it's just. It was like, what else have I done? Like, I've been at Daily Record. Save £170! That's never happened to me before, ever, right? I was in the National. That's never happened before, not once, right? I've been in BBC Radio Scotland.
This Tragic O'Hara, who started out doing graffiti and now describes himself as a professional walrus chaser. Good morning, Tragic.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm very good. Listen, there's so many things to ask you. One, I need to know where you get that name from. Absolutely unforgettable. And we played a little clip of you earlier on saying that you're not used to being invited to, get involved in public art installations. That's kind of not where you come from. And a professional walrus chaser? What's that all about?
It's a real job. So it is. Right. Just because I made it up doesn't mean that it's not real. They introduced me as a professional walrus chaser. Do you know what I mean? It's ludicrous. I don't get it. I don't understand what it is that's making this thing work. I don't get it. I don't understand it. All I know is this, right? I've not told a lie. Like, there's not a lie in it. If anything, I've been underplaying how well it's been going. Do you know what I mean? I haven't came out and said something that hasn't been true. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't went out and says I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and bigging myself up. Like, it's not happened. Like, I've been on, I don't know, like 4 or 5 podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest this week. Please welcome Tragic O'Hara. There he is. How are you doing, man? I'll probably completely goosed up what it is you do.
Talking about it, it's working. This is the thing. It's the first thing that's ever worked. It's the first thing that's ever worked in 15 years. 15 years. It's 15 years of being Tragic O'Hara and actively trying to make a living in the creative industries. right? And not succeeding and having to work another job during the day and then do the other thing at night. This is the first time anything's worked. First time. Right, I'm not, like, see, as much as I'm saying, like, it's working and all that, I'm still in overdraft. I've got money. Know what I mean? But, like, it's getting there. It's becoming this thing that's kind of it's kind of building traction, but it's like, it's been a slog, man. Like, even with I knew it was something to do with the Walrus. I knew it was something to do with the Walrus back 4 years ago. And then it took me like a year to even make a video. I listen to I Am the Walrus at least once a day, which might explain why this has happened. It took me a year to convince myself to make a video about this. Then it took me another 6 months to even make a video and say the Walrus thing out loud. It's huge, I know it is, it's massive. That's my idea, that's one of the ideas that I want to do before I shuffle off this mortal coil, is I'm just chasing the Walrus, essentially, that's it. Everything is just chasing the Walrus, and if it wasn't for this idea, I wouldn't have made any YouTube videos at all. I wouldn't have done any of that stuff. That's how long it took. And that's what the book's about. Like, that's what the book is. The book is the stuff. Because I've been in the other side. Like, I have been in the other side of this, trying to find a place where you fit into a system that already exists. And you don't fit. You don't fit because it's not your system. And then having written all the stuff that I've written and all the different things and all that, like, and then getting it to this point where it's like, people are now saying, could you come and talk about the Walrus? Could you maybe teach us some stuff about this? Could you do that? Could you do that? I've got people who are actually, there is people who have searched to buy the book I haven't finished yet on Amazon. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have actually searched to find a book that I haven't finished yet. That's mental. I can't get my head round how it's starting to turn into this thing. And it's been a year. And I don't even want to go into like a proper retrospective of the year, because that's looking back. And I'm not looking back. The thing that got me through the sculpture was realising that stuff happens after that. Soon after the sculpture, I got offered another sculpture. Like, do you know what I mean? And I politely emailed back and said, I'm sorry, not now. Like, it needs to be, I'm not a sculptor. I'm not a sculptor. I'm a professional walrus chaser, so I like, thanks for the opportunity, but it doesn't feel right, so I'm away doing something else. Logically speaking, right, like the business acumen, I don't think I've got any, right, but like that, but the sculpture was more, a second sculpture was more money now, but where does that lead me? To another sculpture. And where does that lead me? Just to doing the same thing, and then what am I going to do? Just continue to make solar powered sculptures until that's what I do. I'm just Tragic O'Hara, solar powered sculpture maker. It just doesn't sound as good, does it? And the book might go nowhere. Seriously, the path might go absolutely nowhere. I could do this thing and spend all this time writing. I mean, I'll probably get 100,000 words out of this because I'm still trying to get whatever's in here. I've been writing in 8-hour shifts, and it might lead nowhere. It might take me absolutely nowhere. I might make this thing, and my mum buys it, and she goes, "That was really good, son," and that's it. But it feels right. And because it feels right, that's where I'm going. I can't actually believe that not only did I get offered a sculpture, I knocked one back. I still can't believe that bit. Like, it just doesn't feel real. And I'm still in overdraft. I'm still trying to figure out a way to like not be in my overdraft. It's been a year, and just wait, man. Seriously, just wait. It's been a year as a professional walrus chaser, and as Tragic O'Hara doing this thing, it's been the best year of my life. When it comes to that, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, Rule Zero. Like, that's the thing, right? The Rule Zero thing. That's the best things that ever happened to me, right? But see, the Tragic O'Hara bit, something's clicked, and it clicked in me first, and without sounding braggy, without sounding as if I think I'm special, because I genuinely don't, which is why I'm still going, I can't believe this is working, right? Something's clicked in other people. And there's been people who have been messaging me who have been watching what I've been doing for 15 years. Like, for 15 years, and going, I'm really happy for you, because You're starting to get some of the recognition you deserve. Thanks. Like, seriously. Like, thanks. Mental. It's mental. There's no other word for it. It's been madness from beginning to end. I think that's it. So that's been 1 year as a professional walrus chaser. The most ludicrous thing I could have came up with, of all the things that were there, all the sensible options, this is the thing that's working. And I didn't do it because I thought it was going to work. I just done it because it just felt right. It just made me excited. It just made me go, I can't stop thinking about this thing. Like, that was it. That was totally it. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Well, so thank you very much for the best year. The best year of my life. That's it. The best year is Tragic O'Hara. That's it. Thank you very much. And next time.
Yeah. And I've got to ask you, where does that name come from?
It comes from many places. I seen it in the back of a cereal box. So I did. Just a misprint. I just read it wrong, and I was like, I quite like that, so I just kind of took it. That was it.
And you have adopted it, and there you go.
That's it.
Name.
That's
fantastic.
my going name. That's what everybody calls me, apart from my mum.
Well, I'm not going to ask you what your real name is, because it'll completely spoil the whole thing. So let's stick with Tragic O'Hara. Listen, it's been really nice speaking to you. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see more of your art installations in other public places around the country. There you go, Tragic O'Hara, professional walrus chaser and artist. Thank you so much. That was absolutely lovely.
Thank you. Cheers for that.
All right, take care now.
See you later on.
Bye.
Ta-ra. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Talking about money is such...
Don't know. I can't believe I get in the radio, man. What?